All right, we are back with another episode here. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. Apologize for that. I've adjusted some audio settings, so please let me know if anything is like a little too loud or a little too quiet, so I can mess with them on the fly. In the meantime, we are heading out towards Unrest here. Honestly, we're going to see what we can do in Unrest EXP wise, because there's just not a lot of great spots for us right now. We don't have our undead nukes, but we should still be pretty much all right. That said, the most dangerous part of this is going to be getting through Dagnar's Cauldron here, because there's a ton of those level like 25-ish goblins that path around, and they're pretty hard to see, so by the time you notice them, it's like too late. What's going on, Zyko? Good to see you here, dude. Alright, let's get our buffs going. Does everything sound alright to you, Zythan? This probably won't matter, but we'll throw on IBU just in case. Bit of lag there. It's weird. That's possible for sure. Let me move my microphone a little bit further from the keyboard there. I'm thinking about getting a new keyboard. I really like the tactile, the tactile sensation of the mechanical keyboard. But when I'm streaming and I'm just leaving the mic open, it does present some issues. What's up, Slazik? How's it going, dude? So I think the only big fear we have right now are the Tidal Lords. They're probably still like yellowish to me. Hey, congrats, Slaz. It's always good to hear. I moved my buff window over to the left side of the screen, and I'm still like not used to it. I keep looking at my right side where I usually keep my buffs, and I'm thinking I need to put my buffs on. I don't know, Scary. I think it would take a lot of gate to block the mechanical keyboard. It would affect the rest of the sound quite a bit. Oh, there's a Tidal Lord, red. Yeah, I do have an NVIDIA. By the way, good to see you, Gypsy. Thanks, yeah. I'll have to mess with that between the next 2 streams. Yeah, so I guess, does the evening time work a little bit better for you? I feel like I've like gone too far. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. That's basically the same thing I do. Right before I get on, I'm like doing bath time and bedtime routine. I feel like every month EQ is getting more popular. Maybe not as a game, but as a streaming game. I see more and more people breaking into the scene. For a while, it seemed like there was, you know, basically just like Bobby and maybe 1 or 2 other people who got a sizable number of viewers. Some other folks here. All right, so let's review some gear really quick. I got the XR Berserker Club. The camp is actually really easy for me to hold down now. There's like one of the prison cells by him where no mobs spawn. I just chill in there and I kill the PH or the Jester as he comes by. It took me 4 Jesters to get a club. The rest I think is all vendor stuff. I bought a chainmail, cape, belt, and an iron mask. This was like a total of 100 plat from a vendor in Paladin, just to round it out so I didn't have leather in those slots anymore. And last but not least, from the Prince in the Warrens, I managed to get the bracer. Not incredible, but pretty good. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's definitely easy to break into EQ compared to like any other game, especially a popular game. Thank you, thank you. Which monk? It's definitely not worth it if you don't like enjoy it, you know what I mean? This is just like enhancing the social aspect of Everquest that I already enjoy. If I was doing it, I don't know, for any other reason, basically, it definitely wouldn't be worth it. Is this like some twinked out person clearing everything? Got the underscore here. And taunt. So we are level 20 now. Now that we've broken 20, we can hit for like mid 40s with this. It is very nice. Honestly, it feels like the mobs in Currents have less HP than the mobs here. You know, from a sample size of 1 mob, but Blues and Currents I was able to just kind of like mindlessly mow down. Hey Rex, what's going on, dude? Yeah. Yeah, no tutorial here. Too easy, and it's just like, you know, it's more fun to do the old school way. The newbie zones are some of the best zones in EQ. I'd hate to skip them. New players who go right to the tutorial, like, I get the gear catch-up and everything, makes sense. But man, you're kind of missing the best part of EQ. Yeah, it's good for a long time. I don't know about 65. I mean, you know, if you're comparing it to like raid gear, definitely not. But it's better than most group gear you're going to find, that's for sure. Hey, that's good. What are you playing? Brewer is like a 100% spawn chance. He might be a little bit tougher than the average mob in here. We'll see in a couple minutes, I guess. What made you go FV? When I first came back to EQ after like the long 5 or 6 year hiatus I took, Front of Vi was the first place I went. It seemed like a good server, would be like easy to catch up because of the no drop rules. And I figured you'd have like a better community because it was like roleplay oriented, even though like people don't actually roleplay on FV anymore. And I would say that like overall I had a pretty good experience playing there. Okay, nice. Where have you been leveling up at? There are 1 or 2 later zones that I really enjoy that I never really get a chance to hit up because I play on TLP so much. Right, roleplay. Okay, so you're like an old school Front of Vi guy. When I first logged into a Front of Vi, I was like, why can't anyone understand me? And then it clicked. You know what dungeon I think is really underrated? Like people skip it because it's new. It's not like, you know, the nostalgia kind of zone. Stonehive. I really, really enjoy Stonehive. If I was going to do any like modern dungeon, even though it's not really modern by today's standards anymore, but that's the one I would pick for sure. Torklar time. We probably can't kill Torque. Yeah, he's as tough as I remember. Not going anywhere with that. You know what? See if I can't. We're gonna have that Darkbone social. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. P99 is my ideal server. Just, I don't have the time. You can do pretty much like all the way up to 50 in Stonehive, right? TLC, that's the language thing, I think, right? On Front of Vi, there's no common tongue. So like long ago, basically like 99, 2000 era, the server came to an agreement that like the server language would be Elvish. And so like the first thing you do when you make a character on Front of Vi is find someone to group with who knows Elvish so they can teach it to you. Oh, trivial loot code. Okay, sure. I didn't know that that was ever a thing on Front of Vi, outside of like the specific zones, like the Warrens and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, I remember the named bee at the end of Stonehive being pretty tough. Shit, we're getting jumped. What was this guy? 16. We should be able to take both of these without much issue. Yeah, maybe the Undead Brewer is just stacked on HP. LOL, Unrest lore. Good to see you, Keebs. Welcome back, dude. Alright, so Unrest, you know, we almost have to like go all the way back to the founding of Norath to talk about Unrest in an accurate way. Dagnor's Cauldron is a sacred place to like a huge number of Norath's races because it is the place where Brel, Ralos Zek, Tunair, and Prexis originally met to create the first pact and establish their races here. Ralos Zek notably did not join in the pact. He went there and wouldn't agree. But anyway, they all had that agreement to deposit some races on Norath. They chose Dagnor's Cauldron because it was a place where the forest and the mountains and the ocean all met at one time. So anyway, for that reason, many races have been coming to Dagnor's Cauldron ever since their creation because it was always sacred to them. But those races didn't always necessarily get along. So this has always been a place where there's tons and tons of conflict. Naturally, all the conflict attracted a priest of Quellius, right? The goddess of tranquility. And he built a small temple church here whose purpose was to try to cease or try to end the conflict in the region. He provided like a safe place, like no conflict zone. You guys could fight outside the walls, but if you needed to rest, you could come here and it would be okay to rest. And he became kind of respected amongst all the races and they listened to him. So like orcs would come, gnolls would come because there canonically are gnolls on Fateware, just not in the game. They're like on the Loping Plains areas, elves and everything. They would all be here, and while they were in the area, they wouldn't fight. Eventually, though, he was killed. Someone snuck in and killed him. I think the story says that like there was a magical ward so that people who harbored ill intent towards the priest of Quellius couldn't actually come into the area. But this guy took over the body of someone else. A necromancer. He took over something else's body and came in under the guise of like a wounded person. It might have been Garen or Ruxif. There's kind of like two different storylines of what happens with Unrest, and I get them conflated a little bit. Anyway, he managed to get through the barrier, and then while everyone was sleeping, one night he just went on a rampage and killed everybody. I think there's technically a second piece to the story because you've got Unrest, which is like what you see in the basement, like the original temple is the basement piece, and then there was later a whole mansion, kind of like house thing, what we're in right now, that was built on top of that. So there's like a second piece of story in there somewhere, but I forget it off the top of my head. Anyway, Keeps, thanks for hooking me up with an excuse to talk about Unrest lore. Man, that's bad luck with the epic. Yeah, the cauldron is real, yeah. Yeah, basement was like the original temple. That's why like this is all nice, but when you go into the basement, which I won't do here because we'll get killed, it's all like rough stone, you know what I mean? The architecture is different because the original temple was like a pretty modest affair. Uh-oh. Oh, what's up, dude? She dying? Uh-oh, there's a ghoul too. Well, I won't get EXP for this, but I can help her out. Right. Stop attacking right now. It looks like she's good. She's wearing Defiant gear, I assume? Based on like the color scheme. There we go. I mean, I'm not trying to do like this whole ghoul for her. I guess I will. Man, that Fleeting Fury proc is so nice. I think the XR Berserker Club procs a lot more often than the PGT does too. I feel like just as I'm tabbing it in to do bashes, I'm getting a lot of procs. PGT is like pretty rare. Yeah, that is super nice. Oh boy. Thanks. We have 2 in here. Oh shit, we have 3. Xi. I don't know what that person... are they yelling at me? Are they thanking me? I can't even tell. I want to taunt this ghoul, but I think it might aggro her. There we go. I just had to intercept it. I don't really want to fight that mummy in there. Run invalidated. Put the asterisk on it, boys. Oh, you know what? I need to change the title here because we are level 20 now. So my free time has been opening up a lot lately. I mean, it's not incredible, right? It's not like what it used to be, but I'm thinking that I'll be able to start increasing my stream length, especially since we're doing the late night ones. So I'll be able to go, instead of like just cutting it hard at 2 hours, I'll be able to go 3 hours, and on Fridays, maybe even more than 3 hours. Surname max level. Yeah, I do need a surname, actually. I didn't put one because I was waiting for chat. Deathless didn't work last time, but it was still a good name, I think. No titles. Yo, is she healing me? I don't think she's healing me, right? No, she's healing her. Okay. Oh, Rex. So I'm doing I'm doing twice a week now. I'm considering 3 times a week. Don't tell my family yet. Yeah, no help, please. That was the guild name. Uh-oh. We got 2. I like that snap root. Just first attack round rooted me. It's a little sketch right now. Don't help me. No help, please. Deathless. 3 options already. All right, when this root wears off, we are going to back into the hallway just a little bit in case we get more repops in this center room. I do not want to be aggroed by more than what we already have. All right, there's the root. We have LOH. I should survive this encounter. Full mana bar. I'm not sure that I can out-heal the DPS they're pumping right now. See what we can do. That big bash interrupting me. All right, we're making some progress here. Pretty sure I will crush this ghoul if I can get through the mummy. On Mangler, I had a guild, I don't remember, maybe it was. Yeah, rooted V2. It can't go down like this. We can't let it happen. All right, so we're gonna win. We're comfortable. Unless we get another ad. Bronze? Rip, ring mail. I'll take them. I hope I didn't just poof my shield. I didn't. So if we bandolier at the same time that a mob dies and we auto loot an item, it'll just temporarily delete my shield. Air Dune going down? I hope it's not all servers. Even if I crashed here, I'm pretty confident I could come back and survive if they didn't aggro me for like 10 seconds before the game was visible. Because I could get jumped by a few mobs and just pop LOH really quick and basically walk to the zone line. Alright, we're still rooted. Start bandaging. That went well. Aridin is like the most popular server in the game right now, so it wouldn't surprise me if that went down a little bit more often than your average server. Redo our buffs. Thank you for the good looks, though, Rat Lab. It would be really awesome if we were able to get some bronze armor here, but I think the bronze only drops from the basement skeletons. Yeah, I'll get her playing a mage. We'll duo. Yeah, Rect, I do 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday and Friday now. I think there's like a little schedule tab down there built into Twitch. You can click that and you can see what my schedule is. I have to cure this rabies. I don't want to sit here for an hour with it on. Aridin was one of the worst launches ever, for sure. I think the only one worse would be like Ragefire. The 24-hour speed run. Man, Keeps, I can't even remember Fippy. I remember like people couldn't get in and there was no queue system, so then they rolled up Full App like 2 or 3 days later. I had no expectations back then. I was totally free. Yeah, that's true. So hopefully the next hopefully the next TLP launch has two things. First, I hope both servers are pretty popular, so the population splits relatively evenly. And second, I don't want to mess with that brewer again. I hope it has a relatively clean launch, because it's a good bet that the population will be on average a little bit lower. Right, yeah. And then if you guys remember, like the issues weren't just Aerodune specific, like all their games, not even just Everquest, all their game servers across like all 10 games that Daybreak had at the time were crashing because of some like database migrations they were doing. So that's definitely a big impact. My static group has taken new measures so that if we end up in a situation like Aerodune again, where you literally can't log out, who is healing this guy? The Ghoul Magus. Anyway, so my group is going to take some measures so that even if we can't log out, we'll still be able to sleep in shifts and stuff. Yeah, I agree. TrueBox has had a net positive effect, I think. I think the biggest positive was that they really clamped down on MacroQuest for a while there. And I think that like everything kind of converged in a positive way on Finny. Far less boxing, little to no MacroQuest, especially in the early expansions. And the AOCs, you know what I mean? Everything was just perfect. The only thing they got screwed with was like mega slow EXP rates. Ghoulbane lore, interesting. Okay, so we're gonna learn a lot about Ghoulbane when we do the quest, the Sword of Nobility quest, where you build a Ghoulbane. But so far as we know, there are 2 Ghoulbanes in the world of EverQuest, right? Canon-wise, one is owned by the Shin Lord, who has it for good reason, right? Because he is in charge of the offensive forces in their fight against the Froglop ghouls. So like that's literally his job, is to fight ghouls. So he has a Ghoulbane. Second is Joran Nobleheart, Paladin of Felwith. As to why he has it, he probably has like the Sword of Nobility route. I don't know the exact background, I don't think, other than that. But we're going to find out. Probably don't have time to get a bind wound off. My next tick is going to put me at 69.5. And it's going to say my health is too high. Oh, it worked. Yeah, vote progression was bad. Well, on a server with no agents of change, vote progression gave the little guys something to use against top guilds. Because you got to realize on servers like Fippy and Vulak and Lockjaw and Ragefire, there was no AOCs, so the top guild just got to stomp everybody, and they really didn't have much reason to work with people amicably, right? But then Pop came around, and Pop was huge because once you got into Plane of Time, where'd this guy come from? Once you got into Plane of Time, the playing field was going to become equalized very, very quickly. So what guilds would do is you basically get beat down for the first like 4 expansions. You get into Planes of Power, and then when it comes time to vote, which is like at the 3-month mark, everyone votes whether or not the next expansion opens. Everyone except for the top guild votes no, because they finally have access to a raid zone that's instanced and no one can mess with them, and it's got the best raid loot in the game. And on Fippy, they voted no like 2 or 3 times in a row. So they were stuck there for a long time. During that time, the smaller guilds were able to build, or they were able to bridge the gear gap that had existed for the entire life of the server up till then, right? Which was huge. So now being a top guild player like had no meaning, because Plane of Time gear is better than pretty much all gear that comes before it. And now everyone's best in slot. And then at the same time, people who have been in the top guild and have been racing through expansions as fast as possible they are the most bored because they get into Planet Time like way before anybody else. And they just got to sit there. And it's like, you could do something like, I don't know, kill Soul Row every time he spawns and never let anyone get it so that they can't get into Planet Time. But they're just going to keep voting no against you. So it's like a standoff. If you don't let them into Planet Time, they'll never vote GOD open. If you let them in Planet Time, they're going to delay it a little bit anyway, and you're going to lose your gear advantage. And that happened on like every server. I think Vulak might have been spared slightly because by the time Vulak got to Planes of Power, the population of the server had already been decimated. Right, yeah, normally there just isn't not enough food to go around for that many guilds to be at the table. But there were better elements in the pre-AOC days. I have to be totally honest, right? And this might be something that only a very small selection of the player base got to see. But as a guild leader and a guild officer in the era of pre-AOC, there was so much political intrigue and interaction between all the guilds. That was a lot of fun. Like, you knew the officers and prominent members of every guild on your server, and you talked to them pretty regularly. And if you weren't in the top guild, you were scheming with those smaller guilds against the top guild, trying to find ways to beat up the big dogs. And when AOCs came out, people stopped talking to each other because you just don't have to. Every guild is a castle unto itself. You know what I mean? It doesn't need outside assistance. But at the same time, it's like, at least you can play, right? Like, at least you can see the raid mobs. I can tell you what Faceless did on Vulak, which was a lot of fun. So Faceless was the number 2 guild on Vulak while we were there. So we came up. This guild, Mischief and Chaos, got the server first kills, just kind of like with a few mages, a monk, and enchanter, I want to say. And then they sort of broke that off and formed EOE, Echoes of Elysium, who was made up of the core original dudes from Mischief and Chaos, but I think booted like one member they all hated. Anyway, they took in a bunch of people. Still a really tiny guild by today's standards. I think EOE, and Keeps can correct me here, EOE had like 28 to 36 raiders most of the time. Like, really small. Yeah, I think it was loading. Please wait. There was some like really cool guilds on Vulak. So EOE formed, and they were the dominant guild. And then Faceless caught up eventually in Classic and decided we wanted to raid. Around the time that we wanted to raid was when EOE was focused really heavily on Sky. They hadn't cleared Sky yet. So this gives you an idea of like really, it wasn't too far into the server, right? We're talking about like days or a week or two. EOE is super focused on Sky, killing EOV. And Faceless takes that opportunity to go poop sock some dragons. So we would like, back then, the dragons were 3.5 day respawn timers with a 12-hour window. I think it was 3 days with a 12-hour window. So we would show up the moment the window opened, and I would just sit there and wait until the window closed or the mob spawned. And we did that a few times, and one of the EOE officers was like, yeah, dude, we just don't want to, that's not something we want to deal with, right? We're not willing to do that over these mobs right now. So we worked out a rotation to avoid kind of like a toxic conflict for a while. Okay, we want to go around if we can. It's going to be tough. Is this guy solo? He is. Anyway, so for a while, Faceless and EOE were on rotation. Things were good. But the problem was, it was dumb on our part, on everybody's part. We formed a 50-50 rotation. So every other mob was ours, every other mob was EOE's. And like, EOE was unquestionably the top guild at the time. But like, if you're only getting literally half, you start to lose the recruitment benefit, and people start to be like, who is the top guild? You know what I mean? And it's a big point of pride when you're the top guild to be known as the top guild. Like, that's the main benefit. So egos started to come into conflict there, even though we had a working agreement. And then I was reaching out to smaller guilds, like there was this virus guild. No, there was a guild led by a guy named Virus. I forget what the guild name was. and then there was the League of Grand Adventurers, led by one of my friends, Liren. And I was convincing them. So no one also knew that there was a rotation, right? Only EOE and Faceless knew that we were rotating. But I would convince these other guilds to try to get raid mobs. I was like, look, Faceless can get raid mobs off of EOE. Why don't you guys try? Why don't you guys band together and go get raid mobs? But I would only tell them to sock raid mobs on EOE's rotation days. And naturally, EOE eventually found out. And then all bets were off. I don't think we ever had a long rotation after that. But that first rotation lasted for like the better part of 3 months. Then we had a bunch of DPS racing to wrap up Classic. We went into Kunark. We had a crazy Kunark launch. Still to this day, one of the wildest expansion launches I've ever had. Then we had a brief Trachodon rotation. That fell apart. Again, just due to ego and stuff. And Faceless pretty much got locked out of Vishan's Peak. We had a small enough crew to kill some dragons in Vishan's Peak, but we couldn't out DPS EOE and VP. So our guys who had VP keys were slowly getting picked off and joining EOE so they could actually get content done. And in the meantime, the only way to kill Trachodon was DPS race. You had to have Shadow Knights, and you had to macro quest them and script them to automatically harm touch track or any other raid mob the moment it spawned. And after like losing a few of these, because we were really dumb when we were using auto hotkey kind of things, like keyboard macros instead of macro quest, which is far faster. After losing a couple of those, we were just like, meh. I decided I would rather leave the server than script some Shadow Knights, and so we just bailed out. That was pretty much the story of Faceless on Vulak. But it was a ton of fun. And on an AOC server, it just never would have happened. I probably wouldn't even know half the people in EOE. Keebs and me might not even know each other right now. Yeah, that rotation was a delicate thing. Oh, missed my jump. I'm gonna get some shit ads out here. Yeah, Logo was good. You know, honestly, like Kale Dread, if you remember head GM Kale Dread back when they had GMs that mattered, they ended up forcing a rotation on Fippy during Valius, mandatory Fippy rotation. And he referenced us. He was like, we don't want what happened on Vulak to be repeated on Fippy. I felt kind of vindicated by that, you know what I mean? Like, that somebody at the company had noticed that maybe they had made the wrong move. Because, like, the whole time, too, it wasn't just DPS racing and poop socking. It was also petition quest. Like, every raid mob, people were filing petitions. Like, at the time in Everquest, the rules kept changing. GMs would come and, like, they would make you roll. So me and Damdor, the leader of EOE, would have to like slash random 1,000 to see who got a raid mob. Or they would come up one day and they'd be like, who was here first? Whoever just happened to show up first, if you could prove it, you were the guys who got that raid mob. And then the next time they would be like, you guys just stay here and, you know, whoever gets kill rights gets the kill. But kill rights back then weren't done like they are now, where like if you got EXP, then you got the kill rights. Kill rights were like, if you touched the mob first, anyone who engaged it after you was a kill stealer. So it was insane. Like, you just sit there and have to try to get the first hit, and then you would petition after the kill to get your loot awarded to your guild. You know, Bull. You already know. This is how I did it, you know? Nothing's changed. You know, the big thing that I regret about Vulak, two things I regret about Vulak. First, if you really want to be the best, you have to be willing to do whatever the situation demands to win. And I wasn't willing to do that. So I shouldn't have tried. You know what I mean? That shouldn't have been my goal, to be the best. And second, ego was a huge thing. If I could have just been like, yeah, EOE's the top guild, Faceless is happy being the second place guild on Vulak at this time, me and Damdor would have got along really well. But, you know, both of us wanted to be the best, and one of us actually was. and it was not the Teenage Zaide. This was on Vulak like 10 years ago. Yeah, so I left the server, but Faceless stayed alive. Like what Faceless did was we left the server. We messed around on some emulated servers, and then like within a month or two, we went to test server. Basically, we took 2 months to mess around on emulated servers while I was in boot camp, because that was right when I joined the Navy. I got out of boot camp, we formed the test server guild, and we did Classic all the way through House of Thule on test. But yeah, I'm sure it hurt EOE too. Like they won, they were the top guild, but then who did they have to recruit from? You know what I mean? Token Faceless is still on solo. I'm not playing there right now, but the guild is going really strong. They're crushing content, and I think they're 2 or 3 expansions away from live. I want to say in March they complete Everquest. I forget if that counts for the expansion that just dropped though. Yep, 2 to 3 months. And that'll be the first time a server or a guild has done it since 2007. Slazik, I think there is a good chance they'll do another Celos. I think they'll, if they're smart, which is always a question, they'll tweak it a little bit. 4 weeks is really a little bit too short, I think. It scares people away, which hurt Celos population. If they would instead do 6 weeks, I think you would have a bombshell of a server. Yeah, so back in the day on TLP servers to unlock the new expansion, like before the vote even came out, because you still had to vote, but you had to do like all the content. They had this big timeline that was updated with whoever did everything first back when the EQ Players website worked. It was really good looking stuff. But like to complete Velius, you had to have the breastplate for every quest line. Like every character had to complete their Sky Shrine, their Thurgadin, and their Kale breastplate. And if one of those was left unfulfilled, the server could not advance, even if you'd killed all the mobs. Same thing with Kunark. Every epic had to be done. Some epics, that was actually like a big problem with, because like Soul Leech, super rare. Yeah, Combine server had it, Fippy had it. Sorry, Combine and Sleeper servers had it, Fippy and Vulak had it, and then that was it. When Sony got hacked in 2011, EQ Players was taken down permanently. We have never seen it since, but it was really awesome. So like when you looked up on the timeline, you'd see like, oh, server first Tracknaut killed by Realm of Insanity. And then you click on it and it would show the whole list of players who were present at that kill. But it worked with everything. You could go on EQ Players and you could say like, I don't know, let's look up what's a yak. Let's look up Short Sword of the Yakesha, right? And it would show you the first person to ever loot the Short Sword of the Yakesha on that server. Super cool. Yeah, this is the original Sony hack wrecked EQ. EQ was down for like 3 months, 2 or 3 months. It was a while. Ooh, even con. Let's do it. What? That's bad. We're just gonna zone it. I might be able to win that. I mean, with Lay on Hands, I would definitely win that fight, but I don't want to have to like exhaust 100% of my mana and then metal it all the way to full, just when we could like do the pull properly, and it'll be a pretty trivial encounter. Okay, Tolkien, yeah. So our token, there was a lot of weird like elements to the original TLPs, but a lot of them were also There were issues with them. Like, each TLP has gotten a little bit more classic. The original TLPs were super unclassic. Like, it was basically just an expansion lock. And things like Freeport Sewers and Jagged Pine Forest were in when they weren't supposed to be in, and there was tons of out-of-era loot. I think they finally got a clamp down on out-of-era loot, mostly around, like, Agnar. I'm trying to think if we had any crazy out-of-era stuff on Ragefire and Lockjaw. Cubes, do you remember we used to use EQ players to see when people sold their accounts? So, like, you guys remember how I said that if you were the person who got the server first short sword of Yakesha, for instance, it would, like, show your name next to the item? Well, if that name changed, we'd be like, oh, that dude who got the server first, like, sold his account. And, you know, remember back then everybody knew everyone because there were no instances, so you just were forced to interact with these people. There were a few, like, well-known people who sold several times. That's how it is. That's how it should be. You shouldn't be able to escape your reputation with a name change. It should be like a flavor thing. Dude, what? Oh, it's a different mummy. Okay. This is like a Pather spawn. It's a good thing we didn't stay there and fight that, because we would have had this mummy at us just right now. Yeah, so Cornav took away focus effects. That was another big one. Whoa, whoa. Bull with the sub. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you showing some love, dude. Hey, Bull, are you raiding on Aerodune right now? Are you in a guild there? Focus effects being removed is a big one. That's a big hit in the effort of legitimacy. But it also made itemization in Classic a little bit worse. Like, casters got to play a fun little focus effect mini game. Okay, that's cool. So you're not leading your own guild this time? Token all of EQ. Like, you couldn't even bring up server select. Like, you couldn't get past the launcher for 3 months. It takes a certain kind of brain damage to lead an EQ guild. To lead one in 2020. I don't know if I have it in me anymore. Yeah, PlayStation Network and everything. It was crazy. When did they get sold? I don't know, man. I don't know when Daybreak took over. Maybe someone in chat will know offhand, so I don't have to go look it up. Maybe like 2013, 2014. I think Daybreak was in charge by the time Lockjaw came out. Yeah, I think it was 2014. Late 2014. They owned it for 5 years, I want to say, before they sold it just now. So maybe it was just 2015. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was like, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, at first you're like, when the servers go down on a TLP server, if you're a raiding, like an open world raiding guild, you're just like, all right, we're going to sit at our, on our event servers, right? And we're going to poop sock the login server. It'll come back up any minute now. And then you realize, like, it was not coming back up. And at first you're like, okay, if it's down for like 2 full days, Lady Vox will be up. So we'll rush to permafrost as soon as we all get in. But then it's down for like a month. You're like, okay, everything's going to be up. Like, we have to get a whole plan of battle. Yeah, well, so my thoughts on that. For most players, I don't think it's going to be a big deal if they sold. If I was running an emulated server right now, I would maybe be pretty nervous. The company that bought them bought up a bunch of other MMOs too that are kind of in the same boat that EQ's in. Old MMOs, basically. So they bought up all of those, and they used the type of loan where they bought them not with cash on hand or anything, but they took a loan to make the purchase, which means they need a certain amount of return just to meet the loan payments. Can I use the neck that just dropped? I think I can, but I wouldn't want to because I've got a 3 strength neck. Yeah, 2 AC, not worth it to me personally. Corridor, thank you for the follow. Well, whenever there's a change in ownership, it's questionable for the emulated servers like P99 and stuff, because Daybreak had worked out a deal with P99 where it's like, hey, you guys are good, we're not going to do anything, no cease and desist, everything will be fine. But not every server will be so lenient. Or sorry, not server, not every owner will be so lenient. So when they sell the game, like the next owner might be like, nah, we're crushing the emulated scene immediately. So as for the EQ sales numbers, they were impressive. Yeah, I think everyone was like pretty surprised at how successful EQ was, but it just goes to show you that EQ being successful does not have any bearing on EQ getting funding or getting better. Instead, what they did and what they're going to continue to do with the new company is they're going to take the success of EQ. Remember, both of these companies own a bunch of other MMOs. So some of those MMOs are not going to meet the minimum numbers they need to pay back the loan that was used to buy them. So the company doesn't just eat a loss on that. They take the successful games like EverQuest and they use that to subsidize the failing games. And that's all that's going to happen. The additional income that EverQuest makes, more than it needs to run, is never infused back into EverQuest. EverQuest is like perpetually on life support because its funding is, and pretty much always has been, used to float other games or to fund the development of other games. Since the quote golden era, EverQuest has been stuck footing the bill for failed projects. Yeah, so I have under 75 AG agility. It's surprisingly very little AC loss because I've tested it with some agility earrings. Like this is a 2 AC earring. I had an agility earring that if I replaced both of these with the agility earring from like Blackborough, it would put me over 75, but it was a net AC loss. So it was actually better to roll this way. Now, getting the extra 3 agility is going to be relatively easy. That's why I didn't put the starting stats in there, right? Because starting stats, it's permanent, right? So if I put 5 points into wisdom instead of agility, I considered it a bigger benefit because I know that the natural gear progression I'm going to take is going to get me to 75 agility. So right now we have this, 2 agility from this. We used to have the Bull Smasher, which was another 2 agility. Pretty soon we're going to get a Bloodstained Tunic. We'll get that at like 28, 30. And that'll be plus 4 agility. That'll solve the problem completely. And in the meantime, we might get a Gorilla Hide Mask, which will be another 3 agility. So there's a few different combinations which will put us at the 75 plus agility threshold that we want to be at. And it's all following gear lines we would have gotten ordinarily. Grons, thank you so much for the follow. Sorry I didn't call it out sooner. I was busy babbling about stuff. I hope they honor the emulator agreements because the servers are like some of the best servers in EQ. Yeah, the mask has strength and it's got negative charisma. This group's moving in here. It's really bad for us. It's pretty rude. I'm debating on whether I want to have a big issue with this, since they are just like rolling through trying to take all the mobs. Pretty sure he's just damage shielding through them, so I could just like hit them 1 or 2 times and probably just take the kills. Unrest remains a popular power leveling zone, even in the almost Depths of Dark Hollow era. Yeah, Siphon. Where would you want me to go, Sai? The same kind of thing started happening in Erdogan when I was on my first pal. You guys remember? This is where I got trained and had a few big conflicts with people. Something about Unrest just brings it out in folks. Yeah, but which zone would you have chosen? We haven't heard any news. Death. No official news on a new TLP, but everyone's expecting it. Groups and guilds are plotting their rise on the new servers, no doubt. Mistmore? Oh god, that would be a death sentence. If we go to Mistmore right now, we'd be making a new character on Friday. Alright folks, we are at 1 hour. It's a good time for people to jump in and let's go ahead and have the chat discuss the surname. We're level 20, about to hit 21. We need a surname. What do you guys think? What do you want to see? Yeah, it'd be good if they could. You know, they just have to change the timeline of TLP releases a little bit, Bull. Like, if they did them every 2 years instead of every 1 year, that would be a big win. If they release TLPs on a non-3-year schedule, or 3-month schedule, so like, even if we just went to 2 months, right? 2 months per expansion, and new TLPs every other year, with maybe a gimmick server on the year in between, and the TLP community on each server would be extremely healthy. Lore Master. Token, what specific lore would you like me to go over? Grind Life, Erdogan, Lore Master, Ghoul Wizard. Ghoul Wizard is a good one, Dither. Give me PTSD. Sea Bear, Sea Bear, Sea Bear, Sea Bear. Thank you for the follow. It's the king. Everybody, please enjoy the fact that you are in Discord, or so you're in Twitch chat with the king. One of the finest Everquest players I've ever had the opportunity to play with. Pwned. Even after 15 years, they still don't know how to deal with all the people at launch. Yeah, for real, dude. Like, you'd think they'd figure it out. That's true, Luvian. They'll get out of here quick. Death Breath. Thank you for the follow. The lore of my red helmet boots. That's an easy one. So the Bloodforge helm, it's all the Bloodforge armor, including a Bloodforge warhammer that you can quest separately, is a magical suit of armor smithed by a select few members of the Bloodforge Brigade, which is a mercenary band of dwarves from Paladin. The exact recipe on how to make it is a secret that they don't share with members outside, but if you do certain favors for them and prove yourself worthy, they will give you the armor to rep the set, as it were. So yes, this was given to me as a quest reward from one of the members of the Bloodforge Brigade. Interesting pool coming in here. So, what could they do? They could do early logins. So the big thing is a lot of people log in no matter what time the server launches to reserve names. So they could do name reservations. They could launch the servers at an inconvenient time. Let's say midnight Eastern time on a weekday, server launch. This means that within a few hours of launch, staff will be back in the building for normal working hours and everything will be good. It means that a lot of people will not log on because they just can't. And it means name reservations will already be done, so a lot of people just won't have the need to log in at that time. I think those would be 3 ways they could help alleviate the server launch rush. Right, no wonder it's red in color. So to get the hammer, which is a terrible hammer, that's why we don't have it, you have to go to Kanos and kill Tumpy Iron Toe. Token, I don't think Faceless will be there. Can't say for sure that they won't be. My plan right now is to play on the new TLP when it comes out, though. In whatever capacity I can. Wrecked my very first harpoon I got on stream. Dude, Lost, when I lived in Japan, the servers always launched at like 6 a.m. my time. It was the best. I would just get a full night's sleep, wake up, and be like, all right, I'm ready. Now it's like you're already awake, or you had to jack your whole sleep schedule up to be awake fresh for a launch time at like 9 p.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, it's just a huge pain. Oh, yeah, it's a stream's privilege, for real. What is going on out here? I think, like every mob on the second floor, will just eat my lunch. Yep, don't want to mess with that. Get ghoul rooted and I would never live to run. A lot of this stuff is going to respawn at the same time because they ran around and basically like ate it. I could take this dry bones right here. Yeah, I think I could, but it's very sketch. Yeah, Soleil would be all right. The thing that worries me about Soleil is the wizard mobs will like hardcast root on me. I'll get smoked. I'd love to believe they would token, but I doubt it. I think the next server will be even worse. I think we're going to see like an upward trend of bots and hacking over the next couple of years, unless they do something drastic to curb it. This is good. Yeah, that's just the way it goes, I suppose. No, this is white. Hill Giants are... they would wreck me. I need to have like a good number of levels on Hill Giants before I can kill them, just because they, you know, they have more HP and hit harder than average mobs of their level. This will be a nice chunky piece of EXP. Put me at like 95. What's up, Revs? Dude, actually, we really might get a pick soon. That would be great. I don't know what the threshold is. It's probably like 20 people. I know on my first pally, I was killing sand giants. I killed a ton of sand giants. It had to be around like 35-ish when I was doing that. Maybe as high as like 40, but I think it was closer to 35. So super doable. See, all the other mobs are going to spawn, and this dude's going to do his thing where he runs around in a big square and trains all the mobs. They're going to run by me, and just like a pile of mobs is just going to smoke me in like 10 seconds. They're going to social onto this. Mangler is on Dragons of Norath, about to enter Depths of Dark Hollow. So, like right now, I'm pretty sure Vishimtar is the premier raid mob, along with Overlord Matamaram. These guys do a lot of damage. That proc. Right. Look at this. He's proccing so much, man. All right. There we go. I need to like go sit somewhere safe. It did put us at 95, as expected. Yeah, Lost. You can't swarm on TLPs, unfortunately. It would be super cool, and if they did it, a lot of people would main Bard, but you can't. Dude, Revs, 25 is great for SSF. You know how many characters I've had that died below 20? In fact, we've only had like 3 characters get over 20. So Death, this is a solo self-found hardcore run of Everquest. That means I don't group, I don't trade, I don't accept buffs, I don't buy or sell things to players. All my items come from mobs I solo by myself, quests I do alone, items I craft with my own trade skills. And if I die, I delete the character. Why am I doing this? I should be binding. Right, dude? I played a bard way back in the day when I was like a kid, and I remember telling people like, yeah, hey, I'm 10 and I can twist 4 songs, 5 songs, and people are like, dude, you're gonna get carpal tunnel when you're older. See, King, that is actually a perfect example of something they should do. I'm telling you, 2 years for TLPs. So we'll have like Finny 9.0 in, we'll just say like 2021, we'll start the fresh, right? Finny 9.0. 2022, we have a Discord server. 2023, we have another TLP. And then 2024, we have another gimmick server. Keep doing it like that so you don't always pull the entire population, but you still have fresh content coming out. You still have people buying their EXP potions. Discord server was this awesome server where it was like full on PvP and everyone was automatically set to hardcore. If your character got killed, it was permanently dead. And there were like achievements, titles, and bonuses for highest levels of each class and stuff. It was a long time ago, like back when Fur and FOH were around. This isn't the fanfare shirt. This is the EQ 20th anniversary shirt. Yeah, let me sit down to med and I'll show you the back of my shirt. Yeah, it was like Sullen Zek, but with permadeath on. I don't know if you guys can see it. And it had like a hard time limit. Like it was only around for like a month or something. You know, it was a short-lived competition kind of server. What's going on in here? Oh, geez, this is bad. Do you see that? Like all the mobs were facing different directions in the wall. This is fine. We'll zone this and we'll peel some off. Yeah, they really are. Gotta get that extra speed. Get my buffs on. Rip. I moved 1 foot after I started casting. Actually, I didn't move after casting. I started casting too soon after I stopped moving. That's what I was worried about, Hannah. I saw the double ghoul and I was like, watch me get rooted. It's only one way to zone. Why, hello there. Thank you for waiting for me. Turn left or right? I'll try that. Oh, I already created an account. I already created a guild on this server. You know what? I deleted the Beast Lord, but the guild the Beast Lord created still exists. Hey, Wonker. Yeah, it might be. I have to look through my characters and like find out what I need to do to be able to create a guild. So Zyathan, it's basically a misnomer when people say that zones have a negative Zem. I call the outdoor zones 0%. Some people call it 0.75. It goes back like to the old days when they first did Zem lists. They always called like the outdoor zones 0.75, and like 1.0 was like your dungeon style zones, and like anything above 1.0 was like a really, really good dungeon. But I consider a perfectly normal outdoor zone like Commonlands, Kanos, West Freeport. I consider those to be base experience level. I call that 1.0. So on my list, if I were to do the same kind of list I have there for Kunark, there would be no negative Zem zones. Most likely. There would just be like 1.0s. All those outdoor zones would be 1.0s. It would be really cool if the next TLP started in Kunark. All right, we should be 1 kill away from leveling up. Oh, that group did leave. That's awesome. So we can now take our time a little bit more, not rush and engage things as soon as we see them. Oh yeah, they had some really cool mechanical like things up for a vote back in the Lockjaw era. We got to vote on Lockjaw if we wanted corpse runs, and everyone voted no. We also got to vote on mob push. And people voted so that players would not push mobs, only pets would. I think both of those votes were a mistake. I think on TLP they don't open the Warrens until Luckland. So I've done a Luckland start server already, and though the Warrens was really good, we did not consider it to be the optimum path. Warrens has great loot and nice Zem, extremely dense mob population, low HP, and it starts right next to Payneal, where you're going to have a ton of your power classes coming from with the best stats possible for the power class too. So it's got everything it needs to be really compelling. But in testing, it just didn't work that way. And the reason it didn't work that way is because once you finish the Warrens, right around level 20, you're on Otis. And the best EXP spots are by like Freeport. Oh yeah, sorry. Fun to play? Absolutely, it would be a blast. So, still that route that you just got is my route for 1 through 50. If I'm like doing a power grind. That's what I used on Airdoon to be server first 50. Dude, Field of Bone would be sweet. Some of the groups on Cello did like a primarily Kunark rush when Cello came out, since Kunark zones were all open. On Cello launch, here was my route. I don't remember the exact level spread that we did everything, but it was Lava Storm, Upper Guck, Lower Guck, and Ding 21. Hype. After Lower Guck, where did we go? Acrylia Caverns? I think it was Acrylia Caverns we went to, and we did that to 60. So we only had 4 zones, basically, 1 through 60. Soleil is super hard at 14. Thanks, Chinchilla. Good to see you, dude. Have you started any new characters, Chinchilla? That should be open now. Good. Yeah, Soleil's a beater at 14, man. With like super ideal class composition and 6 very focused people, you still need a little bit of luck at level 14. Rect, I'm only using Classic and Kunark. I'm not going to use anything after that, I don't think. Dude, why is this guy beating me up? Mangler did not crash, Z. Airdoon crashed? Whoa, Wonker, why don't you get back in there? They're going to hit live soon. No reason not to get back going on Cello. This guy is threatening my life right now. We get it, you proc rabies, dude. It lasts an hour, you don't have to do it every other round. Ooh, P99 is going to be a really tough one, Chinchilla, but it's going to be rewarding. I think you'll like it because it really feels great to play on P99. Oh, are we the top stream? That's awesome. Feels good to be like doing well on prime time. For a long time, we were just streaming kind of like an odd spot in the middle of the day. Want to buy Bane Strike. You know what? I don't have Bane Strike Mummy, I bet. It's like the only zone in the game where I can get it at this level. Alright, that's it. This is what we got. Dude, I hate that on P99. Every time you camp, it's like you just crash. There is a fix for it, but I forget what it is. I think you have to run it in compatibility mode. It's terrifying. No. Okay, never mind. Did you see that? I was like moving all over the place and the heal resolved. That's when channeling works when you don't want it. I don't know, chat. Maybe we should do a guild. A chat guild on the next TLP server. Something casual. Just mess around. My bandage supply is still good. I don't think it's no help please that is blocking me from making a guild. I think it's Highlander. Highlander was on Mangler, right? No, it was on Cello. Never mind. Casual faceless? You can't do a casual faceless, man, unfortunately. Because, like, someone will show up and they'll be like, the top guild, right? As things always go, there'll be a top guild there. And they'll be like, oh man, remember that server where we beat Faceless? You guys suck. And be like, with the one where we were literally named Casual Faceless. Right. Dude, tell me that. Dude, what is that aggro range? You guys see that from down the hall? That line of sight aggro. And here's the root. Yeah, I bet that feels bad. I feel like they just have to be like above it, right? It'd be really hard to hurt their legacy because it's so strong in EQ. South putt. I need to double attack for like 40. Just finish this guy off. See, this level range right here, our Paladin on Aerodune was still cheesing guards. We didn't come back to Unrest, I don't think, until level 30 when we had the Undead Nuke. And we just tore through the zone. I don't think that would help because I turned off loading art, Slazik. Like, I'd never run loading art, and I still have the crashing issue. Zaide, do you remember what any of the really good surname options were? All I remember, the only one that stood out to me still is Ghoul Wizard. Ooh. Wrecked. Shots fired. Man, that light blue looks really nice for some reason. All right, chat, those are our options. Pwned, Deathless, Lore Master, Ghoul Wizard, Server Crusher, Grind Life, and Aerodune. What do we think? I'm going to take Aerodune off. No offense, whoever advocated for that. High Tech says, run it back with Deathless. We got 3 Deathless. Ghoul Wizard's a good one. Ghoul Wizard is like the meme. It's our last bandage. I won't even heal, I'll just jump in and fight him at 70. You know what? It's been really nice leveling up Bind Wound right from the beginning. Sorry, skills. What's our Bind Wound at? 113. So 113 divided by 4 is what we're getting every time we use a bandage. It's really, really nice. Something that we didn't do last time because I was an idiot. This guy's dying really fast. Zaide, it looks like it's just Deathless versus Ghoul Wizard for the poll, as far as I can tell. New poll available. Vote now. Ghoul Wizard showed up strong in the beginning here. All right, guys. Zaide has linked the poll. Go ahead and click that link and vote in the poll if you care what the surname says. It's too late, Longhouse. Appreciate the kindness, though. Empty. Okay. I'm very cautious. Dither. That's all. It is really cool, right? When I clicked it, I was expecting it to like pop me out. All right, 6-8 right now. Can you guys hear the music in the background? Or is it too low for you guys to hear? Hello, can't hear it. Rip. Yeah, there's been music the whole time. What about now? Big Liak. Dude, it's so good to see you, Liak. I don't even want to think about what attempt this is. For Paladin, this is our third attempt, but only 2 of the 3 Paladins have died. Actually, only one. You can have it. Only one of the Paladins died, the original one. Our Palion P99 is still alive. It's just too slow for my current amount of playtime. So I had it throttled down too much on my audio mixer with desktop audio. I've been doing lo-fi Christmas music the entire time. Oh, hello. That's so weird, Rex. Yeah, these guys are doing a lot of damage. Liak, have you been, man? All right, it looks like Ghoul Wizard wins the surname competition. I'm doing all right. I'm starting to get a little bit more free time, so I'm able to stream a little bit more. Oh, Zaide with the gifted sub. Congrats, Liak. Welcome back. I want to loot this, but it's going to encumber me, so I need to wait. I need to... Uh-oh. I just got rooted right when I was realizing I'm standing in the doorway here. Let's pop some heals. Ooh, ghoul food. It's done. The mark of shame on the Paladin. So I think during Friday's stream, we're gonna launch a new Discord server for folks to get in there. You know, in the meantime, we have been using the old Faceless Hub, like the community Discord, but I felt like it was becoming more appropriate to actually switch to a Discord just for the stream. And we can use that when the new TLPs come out to coordinate groups and all sorts of things like that. The unlisted goal. All right, let's hit Origin and go sell. But yeah, the new Discord will be just, you know, a place to chat before or during, you know, between streams. Get my words mixed up here, to coordinate grinds and static groups and stuff as new servers come out, and to post about like SSF nonsense, EQ, lore, that kind of thing. All the sorts of stuff we talk about during the stream. And then next time I go MIA for like 4 months, we can stay in touch. Do I have a new spell at 21 that I care about? Endure Poison. I do not have a new spell at 21 that I care about. Right, yeah. Let's go ahead and bind up while we're here in the safety of our hometown. I'm glad this is working, Slazik. Well, see, we have Cure Poison. Endure Poison just makes me more likely to resist poison spells. But I rarely have them cast on me, so I wouldn't even maintain the buff, it wouldn't be worth the mana. Airdoon is still down. Jeez. Symbol at 24. At 26, I get this. Instrument of Knife. That'll be a big one. And then I think it's 30, right? 30 is my next Undead Nuke. There is Leok, but man, it is so dangerous going out there. If I was level 30, I would go out there. All right, Skyfire lore. So Skyfire lore is pretty simple as far as I know. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's just a natural formation in Kunark, you know, a volcanic region. That said, obviously Talendor is there. Talendor is in Skyfire Mountains, guarding Vishan's Peak access. He's there to make sure that there's like no invading army approaching VP. He works in concert with Gornair and Severalis to maintain a watchful eye on the mortals across Kunark for the Ring of Scale. Of course, within the huge volcano that marks Skyfire, we find Vishan's Peak, where the Ring of Scale makes their home. It's kind of interesting that they chose Skyfire and Vishan's Peak specifically as their location, because it's like so much the opposite of where they came from, you know? Like they're from Belius. So they came from like the coldest place in Norath. Wrecked they did. The low-level Paladin on Dead Nuke got nerfed very significantly, unfortunately, which is why we don't use it. Our first on Dead Nuke, though, is worth using is level 30. Really rough. We could go over to Kara Isle and try to camp the Gorilla Hide Mask. Pretty soon we'll be able to go to Runny Eye and farm some names there. My faction is still good enough in Runny Eye, I think, that I could taunt pull like Battle Lord Palak or Lord Picklaw to the zone line and fight them there solo. Wrecked I am. I'm not sure how late I'll go. Tonight is my birthday, so I have a bit more free time. Thank you. Okay. I'm at that age where like getting older actually sucks though. Yeah, Darkpaw got acquired by, what is it, like a Swedish? I don't know, some company like EL7 or something, Leok. Thank you. Yeah, I can't go do anything exciting because I don't want to get COVID, so here we are. But I had a good time hanging out with the family and stuff before this. Getting old, Zython. Getting old. Leok, I think they're going to keep it as like more or less business as usual. The only thing I would be interested in is seeing if they're going to change the relationship they have with emulated servers. Indeed. So last time we fought Harambe over here, he got bugged out. We pulled him, and he sat there in melee range while we fought, and all he did was cast Root until he ran out of mana. Like, he would just sit there and do nothing but spam Root as fast as he could, even when I was rooted. Chronic, thanks for the follow. Yeah, it's rough, man. All it takes is one case to shut everything down. Well, we'll have it good until they send us the cease and desist, Slazik. Zaide, then you should look at a Discord message I sent you. Yeah, so Liak, me and a buddy of mine, Dino, are planning to do a emulated server eventually because TACP is gonna make their source code public once they complete their development cycle. So I was gonna grab that and tweak it up, and we're gonna do like the EQ complete server. Ranger no bow solo self-found hardcore. Ooh, Heretic, why would you do that? Good name, by the way, man. Heretic Rams is so good. Final Fantasy Tactics. By far the best Final Fantasy. You could do it, man. You could do it. Your nukes would suck and it would take forever, but you could definitely do it. I mean, the bottom line is, even without a bow, you could stand toe-to-toe with most mobs and do a lot more damage than the Paladin could. And when you started getting low, you could just run away with Spirit of Wolf. Like, the name of the game with the Ranger is, can I get Spirit of Wolf? And if I can, I win, more or less, unless you make some kind of crazy mistake. This is weird. No one's in the zone. There should be a mob right here. It's literally the mob we're looking for. I wonder if he's like bugged out somewhere. But yeah, you just hit him with the snare, keep yourself Spirit Wolfed, and you'd be pretty good. Let's see, does JoJo drop anything we could use? Because we can, anything in this zone right now we could taunt pull. Solo. Let's look at JoJo. I know he drops the Mystical Claws. Tiger Hide Gloves. 2 AC, 2 Strength, 2 Dex. Four AC loss for 2 Strength. I think Rangers get some decent dots, right? Or am I totally wrong? See, the bow thing would be really expensive for an SSF run anyway. Beating all those arrow expenses the whole time. Alright. While we're waiting, hopefully this is just like, for some reason, dead and he's going to respawn out here. Probably what I'm guessing is that mob is like somewhere stuck under the geometry, which is a huge issue for us to camp this. In the meantime, we're going to taunt JoJo and run him out of here after we buff. I assume JoJo runs at Spirit of Wolf speed, so we won't be able to run him too far. Speed typing test, right? Okay, he's not Spirit of Wolf speed, that's good. I don't think he was close enough to the wall for me to taunt him through the wall. He might have been. But there wasn't a huge risk because, you know, I just face away and he's a blue con. So if that mob really is missing, and he's somewhere else where he shouldn't be, he's just like stuck, it'll be like impossible for this character to find him. We would need a ranger or someone with ranger-like skills to locate the missing mob. Dude, I almost feel bad. Look at this guy. He's so cute. Did something like auto-censor you, Dither? I saw you type center. Dude, that'd be cool, Slazik. Instead, you just have to play a Vashu. Feels bad. Yeah, they really did a terrible job on Kara Isle, in my opinion. The models look awful. They merged Kara Isle with Toxulia Forest, which is super bad because now Kara Isle has the Zem of Tox Forest, which is no Zem. It makes it a really suboptimal zone. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to mess with that later. This guy's gonna run soon. Chronic, I'd say Aerodune. Aerodune's got more people still leveling up and everything, so that would be the one I would go with. Especially in those starting levels. And by the way, welcome back to Everquest. I hope you enjoy it as much as you did back in the day. Hey! Pretty sweet. Yeah, I've got a bunch of friends who are leveling up on Aerodune right now just while they wait for the next TLP. And I went over there to give them damage shield because I have a 50 mage on that server. And there was a ton of people. Like in Upper Guck, there was like 30, 40 people grinding in the middle of the day. Very surprising. The respawn timer in here, I want to say, is like 20 minutes. We don't want to do that. So that's how long we would have to wait to know for sure that our boy up here is misplaced. Yeah, I was the first level 50 on Aerodune when it came out, and I deleted my character. If you wanna enjoy the video of me deleting the server first 50, you can just type !50 delete into the chat. Hey, that'll be good. You guys can pick like a little duo class thing and knock it out. Depending on what classes you guys play, it should be pretty easy to build a group around a pair. That's true. You just would be alone a little bit more of the time. And if you get into like the UI elements of all the new stuff, it could be overwhelming if you haven't played in a long time. Yeah, it is free, so that's a big bonus. It's a really big bonus. Try to look through the earth here a little bit. This zone is always empty. Like, I've never seen someone here outside of the server launch, which is why I really think that there's something weird going on here. Can I sit into this? Yeah, Eridan's at the perfect spot for you then. Pretty close to Luckland now. It'll be just like you remember, almost. Alright, this is actually probably a good spot to look up there. There's those two. He's not in the geometry over here, so that's promising. People are definitely going to jet for the next TLP. That's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. So we expect the next TLP to launch sometime between March and May. We could always be wrong, but usually every year we get a new server between the months of March and May. And when that comes out, you should just like switch, you know what I mean? Consider this like a getting accustomed period. And when the new server drops, switch to that. That's what I would advise. I think this right here is the Mitzi PH. King, that just means I get to sleep more. How high can I take this guy? I wonder if this gorilla will social with the other one from this distance. Yeah, that's for sure. What? You don't like the classic models? Dude, that's the way to play. Whew. You can miss me with those Luckland models. But I get it. If you like it, right? The default when you download EQ is Luckland model now, so you'll have those. You won't have to do anything special to get them. Well, Chronic did say he last played during he started during Luckland, so that's like his nostalgia, you know? You saw that, Zaide? She was asking if I needed a new drink. Dude, the OG troll, so much swag. It looks great. Yeah, it's improved. She's gotta be nice, you know what I mean? It's my one day. She's actually like, you know, she plays EQ, and she's a fan of streams and stuff too. She's really interested in streaming with me, like doing a joint stream, like some kind of duo thing or just grouping in general. We just need to wait until Kiddo is older so we can make that happen. We'll do it like El Jefe does it, just like side by side. What's up, Smelly Pirate? Good to see you, dude. Just checking in. Well, why don't you stay a while? We are level 21. Finally got our surname back. Ah, okay. Yeah, wrecked me too. The new Null models were awful. And you couldn't, like, Bane damage Null didn't work on the new models. So dumb. Ah, I see. Yeah, you get it, right? Dither came out and had to humble me with the surname. Dither, all you're doing is hurting me tonight. Now you're using Bobby emotes, reminding me of the stream content we could have if he didn't abandon us. Bobby's definitely hands down my favorite EQ streamer. Entry level class for raids. On the next TLP death, here's what you do. You pick a class that you're gonna like, right? And you roll up with a static group. Before the server launches, get on the forums, get in our Discord that we're gonna launch on Friday and say, hey, I'm starting on the server, I wanna raid, I'm looking for a static group. And whatever class you play, except for Rogue, it'll be all good. But yeah, Necro's a great option. Necro's like a little bit more involved. Like if you want like brain dead easy, you can't beat Mage. Everybody wants monks. Like if you want to be a melee, monk is right up there in the top. If you want to be a tank, warrior is rough in the beginning, but I mean like they're the people who are going to tank 99% of all content, right? In classic though, you can tank just as well as a warrior as a Shadow Knight or a Paladin, so you can roll an SK. That'll be a lot of fun. SKs are super powerful throughout the most of the timeline of the TLP too. It would be easier if you told us like 3 classes that interest you, and we could tell you which one of those would be most suited. Mage is so brain dead, it's what I play. What I would advise you against playing if you want to raid specifically is Enchanter, because there's going to be like 900 million Enchanters at server launch, and there's just not enough mobs to charm. And then later on in content, like, charm becomes less of a thing. But in group content, Enchanter is one of the most fun classes to play, and the most powerful. Definitively the most powerful. But if you're looking at raid content specifically, I would advise against Enchanter. Right? Mage can parse pretty well in Classic. They'll be a valued member of a guild. And they're super good in groups. Everybody's going to want a mage in a group. Yeah, everyone hates on the Wiz. Shaman, Monk, Bard. Any of those classes would be awesome. Shaman would be the worst in the launch group scenario, but you can never have enough Shamans on a raid. Their dots are really powerful right now, early on, and you just want as many Shamans as possible because you don't want 2 Shamans having to buff the entire raid every 20 minutes, you know? So Shaman will be dope. Monk you literally can't have enough of them because they're the highest DPS melee class for like the first 10 years of a progression server, so everybody wants them. The only bad thing is there's going to be a million monks, so you're going to have to compete a lot for loot, and then bard. I mean, every group ideally would have a bard, so you really can't have enough bards either. And bards are really good in static groups as well. You can pull, or you can just chill back and be support. Arithmos is right. Cleric. I mean, you literally never have enough clerics. But yeah, Death, next time, so next Friday at 8:30, or not next Friday, this Friday at 8:30 Eastern, we'll be streaming again. That's when I'm gonna push out my new Discord. And when the next TLP comes out, we're gonna form a bunch of static groups in that Discord with all the folks in chat and some other people that I play with. So get in there and we'll make sure that you get a group when the new TLP comes out. Dang, that's a lot of commitment. Oh yeah, sorry, Oren. I'm a Paladin, level 21. This is back to solo self-found hardcore. We're doing pretty good, man. It feels like this could be the run. Right now we are camping Lord Gongo. He spawns here, roundabout. We're trying to get a gorilla hide mask off of him. We think his spawn is broken. When I came over, he wasn't up and his pH wasn't up, which is really, really weird for this zone, which is usually like totally empty. I did have one on the human Paladin Smelly. Remember, this was the one where like I tagged him with the taunt pole, pulled him over here, and he cast root on me, and then the whole fight he actually just stood right here and rooted me over and over and over again until he died. That's crazy, Death. I'm surprised. I would think most pugs like snap clerics up really easily. Yeah, there's always a chance that you weren't watching at that time. This zone is actually where I realized the power of taunt pulling. Like that you could taunt, and if your faction was good, as long as you didn't engage them until later, you would get no aggro. That's a good idea, Rect. Shahzad Assad, yellow to me. We could kill him, but I don't think there's any, like, I don't think the loot that he drops has any value to us. I remember doing it on my other paladin just to have done it, and I didn't wear it. He drops like a head slot. Yeah, all he drops is a turban. Ooh, actually, no, you know what? My head slot is too good. My head slot is 5 AC, 5 strength, 5 dull resists. But his turban is 4 agility, so it'd be really good for this character otherwise. We think there'll be a new one, Orin, in March, April, or May of 2021. I'd say it's a safe bet. So I can't target a gorilla over here, or Lord Gongo over here. See, the first thing we killed was Jojo. Let's see if Jojo's up yet. He's not. The respawn time here is like crazy. We killed Jojo at 32. So 18 minutes ago. That's true, the acquisition could like move things around. 1 kill per stream. So this is a solo character, but when the next TLP is coming out, Orn, it'll be different depending on like what everyone's doing. You know what I mean? There'll be super hardcore groups that are gonna go 24/7, and there'll be groups that are like, we're gonna meet up and we're gonna grind 8 hours on this set schedule. And you'll have basically everything in between. I am probably going to try to take time off work and go super hard. I don't even know if mobs will come out here from Kara Island. Like, I think they might leash. A fish. Wait. Piranha? Gotta use that clip cheese in the water. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Real life always gets in the way, but you know what? You have to put real life first, so. Oh, thanks, Orn. Yeah. The secret is just don't have kids. Dude, what is a spikefish? I feel like I've never seen this mob before. All it drops is Defiant gear. Okay. Oh, good point, dude. Thank you. When I put that up there, I was like, I'm gonna regret putting this up here if I'm like traveling a lot. Do I drink? I do, but like not very often. I like to keep my alcohol tolerance low, so I'm easily inebriated. I don't drink casually, you know what I mean? Like if I drink, I'm drinking to experience drunkenness. I usually don't drink mixed drinks or anything. I just take shots. I want the lowest calorie investment possible. Speaking of calories, I'm attempting to make this year my like healthiest, fittest year in my life, even though I'm getting older. 2020's been rough because like, you know, you're inside so much. I haven't been working out as much as I used to. You guys can see it on stream, I'm getting fat. All right, we're gonna run back in there and see if he's spawned. If he's not up when we go back, then I think we just have to leave. Like, I don't know where in the world. The zone is pretty big, so the odds of finding him if he's misplaced are pretty low. It's just good genetics. I'm not swole. It's all soft and flabby. So my favorite alcohol to drink, I prefer vodkas, and of the vodkas, I prefer Tito's. Wrecked, I don't count Defiant Gear as being part of this run. Like, I definitely wouldn't loot it. It just, you know, cheapens it. Sorry, Kettle One. Dude, Kettle One, I'm glad to see you back, dude. It's been a while since we got to chat. But I have to say that Kettle One is maybe my second least favorite vodka. It's got like a really, really signature taste. No other vodka tastes like Kettle One to me. You know, like Grey Goose and Tito's and Belvedere, they have like a very similar flavor profile in my opinion. And then you've got like the bottom shelf ones. They all kind of taste like nail polish remover or something. But Kettle One tastes totally different. It doesn't taste like any of those things. And I'm not crazy about that flavor. The one that I think is worse than Kettle One is Crystal Head. Dude, when 21-year-old Zaide bought Crystal Head for the first time, I thought I was about to unlock the best alcohol ever. But it turns out it's just a cool looking bottle. A great way to waste a bunch of money. Zaide, we're looking for Lord Gongo. Most likely, like, just based on odds, right, we would see a Karen Gorilla, just like this, that is his PH. He's supposed to spawn up here. There's supposed to be 3 of them. We killed the 2. There was no third one that ever popped. So theoretically, somewhere in this zone, there is a misplaced Karen Gorilla out there. Yeah, see, he's not here still. So something is broken. We got our JoJo PH back up. Whoa. See, this was the first one we killed. This is not a PH. You know, I haven't tried Costco vodka, though I do have a Costco membership. I hear that it tastes just like Grey Goose. Can you confirm? I mean, I guess I'll kill this guy just, you know, for the hell of it, but... Yeah, that's what I've heard too, Bull. You know what I can't? I can't drink, I can't think of it. It's like a type of alcohol. You know, it's, I've mentally just blocked it out completely. I'm good with whiskey. I'm good with vodka. It's the other big one. What am I missing, folks? Tequila. Rum and gin, I'm good with those. Tequila. I really, really don't like tequila. Even bourbon's good. So the first time I ever had tequila, someone handed me a red Solo cup just full of mysterious liquid. And it's really bad because, like, you know, you have a Solo cup and you just take a big gulp of it, and you also get, like, when you take a shot of something or you have a mixed drink, you get like a different profile that you smell, but you get like a really big whiff of just raw tequila if you have a red Solo cup full of it. And ever since then, I haven't been able to drink tequila. All right, chat. Nobody in chat here has a spare ranger that can log in and tell me if there's a, quote, a Karen gorilla pathing around out in the forest out there. Yeah, I've had Kraken. It's good. Sounds like the start of a rough night. Smelly. We have our level 1 ranger, not a viewer, doing God's work out there. Yeah, Kenster, I don't know when they did it. Look, actually, it's terrifying. Look at this thing. This is actually something that would give you, like, nightmares. There was this bar I used to go to in Baltimore all the time back in the day. It was called The Horse. They've got like a whiskey side and a tequila side. One is the horse you rode in on, and the other side is the horse you rode out on. But that place was awesome. They used to do these whiskey infusions there that were super good. You could just like sip it. And that's where I first had Jack Daniel's Sinatra, which was a pretty good variant of Jack. I couldn't be a hero in a D&D world just because of the spiders. Like if a village was like, yeah, our town's being attacked by giant spiders, I'd be like, all right, I'm out of here. Jameson is really smooth. Jameson used to have this gold label. It wasn't like top shelf Jameson or anything, but it was just like a step up, and it was really good. Maybe they still have it. Sweet Willie. Thank you for the raid, dude. Folks, if you are just getting in here, thanks to that awesome raid. I am Zaide. I am doing a solo self-found hardcore Everquest run, so I'm a Paladin here. I only solo. I don't group. I don't accept buffs. I don't trade. I don't sell or buy from players. All my items are from mobs I solo myself, quests I do alone, or things I've crafted with my own trade skills. And if I die, I delete my character. And thanks again for the raid, Sweet Willie. Gentleman Jack's pretty good. They have that single barrel Jack too. It's nice. So we're way past the spawn time of that middle one. He's just got to be somewhere else. So if we can't find him on the way back to the POK book, we'll just bail on it. Oh, you know what's crazy? Absinthe. My old roommate back in the day, he and I got some absinthe, and that was like very powerful. Where might he be? Yeah. Herbs. It's got like a really intense anise flavor if you've ever had like anise cookies around Christmas time. All right, chat, keep your eyes peeled. We're looking for a monkey. I hate all the new models here. For some reason, they didn't revamp them like the Fire Beetle. Where's my classic Fire Beetle at? Alright folks, we made it back. We did not run into our missing gorilla, unfortunately. It's getting kind of late for me, so we're going to wrap up the stream here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will be back 8:30 p.m. Eastern Friday night when we continue our run here. Look forward to us launching our new Discord server then as well, so that'll be a lot of fun. In the meantime, let's find somebody to raid. Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. And hey, Liak, I hope you are able to make it out to some more sessions. It was good to see you, dude. All right, we're gonna raid No Mercy. All right, folks, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's raid.